Okay, here we go. So I did just realize something I never knew, or at least I'm surprised to realize because if I knew, I must have forgotten. But I was looking at some information on this game that we're about to play. I wanted to see if there were like passwords or anything, and it turns out that there is a level skip cheat, which we might want to use. But I was surprised to find that there was one for the Mega Drive game as well. I wasn't actually aware. And now I feel stupid because we totally could have used that to at least take a look at some of the final levels. But yeah, I'm not gonna go back to it. We still got to see most of the game. Now let's see here. Let me see if we can capture. There we go. And here's hoping this works. Looks promising. For about half a second there, I thought something crashed, but alright. This looks weirdly stretched, but alright. Oh, and Squirk, what's up? I'm not sure if I've seen you around here before. If you're new here, then welcome, and if you're not, then sorry for not knowing about you. We're just starting right away, huh? I gotta say, as far as FMV on the Mega CD goes, that looks pretty damn good. Okay, so I tried to, fuck's sake, try to pause, but the emulator window wasn't active. God, this is loud. Okay. And Zerp, hell yeah, this is doesn't get more summary or party-y than this. So, I was hoping to get a little more opportunities to talk about this before the game actually started proper, but here we go. So, if you were watching me play Batman Returns previously, then you might feel at home. This game was developed by Clockwork Tortoise, which is the same company who developed the game we just played. However, that company was formed by guys who were at Malibu, the company who made the Mega Drive and Mega CD versions of Batman Returns. So while the platforming action of the cartridge version of Adventures of Batman and Robin doesn't really bear much resemblance to Returns, this game, the CD game, is entirely built on the car stages that they added to the Mega CD version of Batman Returns. So they took the extra stuff they added to the CD version of that game and basically, well, I shouldn't say expanded it to a whole game because I don't know how much bigger it is, but that's the whole game. And intertwined with these driving stages are exclusive animated footage that it's not like repurposed from the show. It was original animation made for this game. And altogether, it amounts to what some people have called kind of a lost episode of the TV show, which is kind of cool and maybe the biggest reason to care about this game. One thing worth knowing about the driving stages in Batman Returns is they were hard as balls. So I expect this game to not be any different. We'll see how well we do, but there is a level select cheat, so we'll see. Let's start the timer. Is this? Yeah, okay. Music sounds cool, but again, not really very related. Let's see if we can figure out the controls here. Okay. Not the civilians! Okay. Like, it looks awesome, but it's a little... This seems like maybe it's slightly smoother than Returns, but I feel unfortunately we're likely to be kind of the same situation as with that game, where technically, like, this is awesome and impressive, but the game tries to do way more than it actually managed, like, than it can, really. More than it can reasonably get away with. Dude, the traffic is insane. And that game too was like you had to play perfectly or you'd run out of time. And that seems to be... Well, I mean, I wasted a few seconds in the beginning maybe, but... Not the civilians! Like someone angrily yelling at Batman. I assume these are all civilians. I don't know if I'm expected to be able to tell a difference. I also don't know what those lightning bolts are. Is there some sort of turbo or something? I can't even make heads or tails of the HUD, so... Something happened. Something clicked when I pressed A. What about the C button? Oh, okay, that's a missile. Maybe not the civilians. Stop hurting the civilians! Oh, Jesus Christ. Am I about to be arrested here? Yep. So that was the thing in that game too. I just realized something. There we go. Actually, let me pause and look at the HUD. Scan. Okay, so I guess the top right, it says 2.5 kilometers. That's like the distance I still have to go. Yeah. Okay. Controls are pretty snappy, but the low frame rate and the high speed, honestly, like, doesn't take much to just ram into them. And dude, even they're like fucking swerving all over the road. How am I supposed to avoid them? Actively fucking trying to block me. Dude, I'm the goddamn Batman. And there's like no civilian life gauge or anything either, so... Game will let me know after I fucked up, but not a moment sooner. Time, dude, it's like there's no distance left. Okay. Lightning bolt, okay. Missed that. Like, it actually kind of feels good to drive. It's just a shame that the game barely lets you do it. It's like, just shove the street full with as many cars as you can fit. Then you have to, like, squiggle through the tiny little amount of elbow room. Like, who thought that make for a fun game? And that's like that's how the game begins, too. Ugh. There we go, stage 3. Not the civilians, I got you. Okay. Do I have like a bat horn or something? Wait, I got some kind of bars. Well, even if that is some sort of nitro thing, it's not going to do me much good because fucking walled in here between civilian cars. Bad sandwich. Something happened when I press A, or some. There's a sound, but I don't know if any of those bars move. Doesn't seem like it. Am I switching weapons or something? Lily and Violet must be stopped. Whoa, what? Okay. Frame rate's pretty good now all of a sudden. Alright, I'll just mash the missile button and hope for the best. Okay, so bottom right damage percentage. It's completely like illegible. There's no way I can read that while I'm actually playing. That's the thing too, like the sprites are gorgeous, but the resolution is low, so you can't even see them until they're way in your face, and that happens pretty quickly. So I can barely see what something is before I collide with it. Okay, half the HUD is red. I guess that means I'm probably dying. Yeah. Okay. Do I see their health anywhere? Top right? Like, how do I... It's not a break. Whoa, hang on. A, my other... Am I locking a target or something? I guess so, fucking giant shrooms. Though there's fucking homing face huggers. How the fuck do I avoid them? Ah! There's like no room. Like, stop. Can I shoot this? No. Oh, okay. I just have to stop and fire like fucking 8 missiles at this mushroom. Then I can drive through it. Never mind that those guys are speeding away. I have to avoid stuff that's like wider far. Okay, I'm almost reached 50, I guess, 51. Or is that damage, or is it just... Can't, like, I don't know why they made the HUD so you can't read anything. I think, like, maybe it says enemy, but I don't know. Maybe it says Kekni or something. I can't even fucking see. Okay, maybe I should try. I'll just mash. Shoot all my missiles. They seem to be hitting. Well, some of them. Sardius, yeah, right. There's no... Well, there's time limit during the driving stages, but not during the boss fights. But I believe, yeah, the Returns had the time limit during the boss fights too, because I kept getting time over. That is correct. Okay, I think... yeah, I did it. That was the first stage, by the way.
Make it easy on yourselves, ladies. Where's your pretty boss?
Flattery will get you nowhere, Batman. Except to an early grave. I'm adding a new type of green to my collection. But here's an old favorite I brought just for you.
Oh, so she drove away now, did she? Stop Poison Ivy, stage 1. Okay, whoa, hang on. Ooh. Yeah, Batman going full axe murderer. I will say, by the way, at the end of the last stage, when the camera kind of shifted angle as it like zoomed out, that was a really cool effect. That's something I'd expect to see in this. Overall, like the 3D effect is like really, really well achieved. It's definitely more impressive than Batman Returns, which already was quite impressive. But yeah, this, well, Hoffman, to answer your question, sort of, with the, I mean, Batman Returns was, had both, right? They added the driving levels to the CD version, but it still had the full platforming game. This is the only game that's like full driving. And, yeah, I guess they really repurposed a lot of that game, just changed some of the art to make it look a little more like the cartoon, the boxy Batmobile. Yeah, this game is all driving. All driving all the time. Well, it's all driving except FMV. Cool, I'm on my like last life, I guess. So it's pretty jerky, but it seems better than. Okay, so 8 fires a different type of missile. The performance does seem smoother than in Batman Returns. But it's certainly a far cry from like 60 FPS. Faster, okay. Different type of, whoa, okay. Upper level, I guess. Now, shooting these seems to have a very limited effect. I'm like, the missiles are barely coming out in front of me. The music's cool, but like the car stages in Returns, for those who weren't around to watch it, like they are insanely hard and like extremely tight time limits. Do like this when there's no cars or text or shit, like it runs really nice and smooth. say, even though it makes sense, these missiles are still kind of annoying. Oh, because that big number is the distance and not a timer, I see. Oh, they're like falling over. Another one of those green bars up top, but I have no idea what it is. Of course, I'm dying from this as well. But yeah, I just don't understand, why does this have to be so fucking hard? I'd say this plays better than Returns. But I don't know. They're very similar. Just a turbo boost away. Maybe it's safer just driving on the sidewalk. But I assume you can't, like, yeah, you have to. Yeah, too slow. 3 continues. Wow. Rab, I would say it's certainly technically very impressive. But it's not fun because it's like impossible. So that kind of, in my book anyway, by definition, like disqualifies it from any discussions about the best Mega CD games. Because there are games that are legitimately good. And I feel like, well, I wouldn't say this is like flat out bad, but it certainly is too hard for its own good. I don't know why I have different consoles that make different sound. Faster. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a magical extra gear that I can shift to like she does, where she just whoop, and just goes 5 times as fast all of a sudden. So like, if I'm not bumping into stuff, that number... Okay, I think I died from taking too much damage. I don't even know. There's so much. I just don't understand. But sorry, to get back to what you were saying about best games whatever, I think it's certainly pretty damn cool. And yeah, it's nowhere near as powerful, unfortunately, and that's kind of a shame given the timeline. But the Mega CD does have hardware support for scaling. Similar, you know, to the Mode 7 Jesus, Super Scaler arcade games. But not a lot of games used it much, and wherever they did, stuff like this in Batman Returns just did not seem to have very good performance. Like shitty frame rates and stuff like that. But That's like one of the few things that the Mega CD adds to the graphical capabilities of the Mega Drive. But I don't know of any other games that are like this that are kind of built on it to compare to. Section. I think maybe I missed one up there. Oh, getting bounced around shit. Like, I don't know, I feel like Clockwork Tortoise, they were cool guys, but they were in dire need of better QA or just like playtesting to figure out that their games were fucking way too hard. The worst part about this and Batman Returns that had similar stages is that the game does a piss poor job of explaining, you know, what you're supposed to do and whether or not you're doing well at it. Like, it'll present you with like, oh, here's the boss or here's some bad guy or whatever, but how to do what the game is asking you to do is not always so clear. And shit like this gets thrown away. I'm not sure if it was too far or took too much damage or both. Like losing all of my will to do this properly. Ah, I mean, I might have I might have more patience with this if like I hadn't just worn myself out playing the other game. But also, I mean, hey, dude, I played Batman Returns. This is pretty much it. Suppose most Batman games weren't great until the Arkham series. Well, I don't know the statistics enough to tell you whether you're right or not about most, but there's been some really good ones. And I would say even these two games, for as much as I complain, they definitely have pretty cool production values, and there's certainly redeemable aspects of them. They're not like total trash. But I think Batman has, throughout all eras, had good games and bad games. So well, I'm pretty much dying plus distance. Yeah, okay. Well, yep, keep bouncing me and I game over. Yep. Dunzo. I keep I keep dying just as I fall behind too far. Yeah, the Sunsoft Batman on the Mega Drive I like. I actually really like the PC Engine one as well. That's kind of like Pac-Man-esque maze game. That game was really incredible towards the end, where there's like the big boss fight. There's like 60 stages or something with not a single boss fight, and then at the end there's like a boss rush where you have to defeat 3 bosses in a game that has like mechanics that don't really suggest or even really support actual boss fighting. That was really memorable. Unfortunately, it's one of those VODs that got deleted when Twitch don't know, had the thing and lost a bunch of VODs. Well, I did die. Yeah, like the PC Engine game gets, I think, gets more shit than it deserves for being goofy. But it also had like, there's one world where you use some sort of teleport system that was really tedious. But like after that, it was definitely mostly fine. I enjoy that. People swear by the NES Batman games. I'm not a huge fan myself, but they're hardly terrible games. Ouch. I'm not sure. I might. Yeah, the Sunsoft games all have good music. The PC Engine one, too, it's kind of cool. Like, it's got, it doesn't have a ton of songs, but it's got songs from both the NES game and the Mega Drive game. By the way, if you're curious, if you type !Batman in chat, you'll get a link to my spreadsheet where I keep track of the list and the games I've played and stuff. If you want to see what you've missed, the document also contains links to VODs from earlier games too, if there's anything you want to check out. Black Cop, she's like driving a pickup, or not a pickup truck, like a van, I guess. It's like a big old open back, tossing 8,000 pumpkins out of it or something, I don't know. And you're firing missiles at it, into it, and it's like barely hurting her. Damage. Yuzo Koshiro has, to my knowledge, not worked on any Batman games. The Sunsoft games were mostly a composer called Naoki Kodaka. He did the NES and Mega Drive Batman games, and they also did Return of the Joker. Which has also really, really good music. Oh yeah, sort of. He was a producer on the Game Gear game, that's right. But he was not the actual composer, I think. But that game, that's actually one of my favorite games so far. Master System 1 kind of sucks, but the Game Gear, Batman Returns, short and easy, but really fun. If you're looking for a slightly less known Batman game, definitely Batman Returns on the Game Gear. You could do a lot worse. there's like kind of a slight delay. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, I'm still alive. 96% though. Catching up. Well, we're gonna get a big old pumpkin in my face in a second, or a big alien, or whatever. All these missiles. Oh. I really like the Arkham games for the most part, but I'm not sure if I would say they got it perfect, but I think it's, you know, by the time it became a series, it's its own thing, and it's mostly like faithful to that thing. The thing with Batman though is, well, I always, like, one of the things I appreciate, I guess, with Batman is that he's so, and it's nothing unique exactly, but a little unusual maybe, at least in terms of licensed games and stuff like that, but Batman is so malleable and like can be such different things and has been such different things in the past. And while I think the Arkham games definitely get him more right than wrong, there's aspects of that version that I'm not super fond of, and just in general. I'm personally really kind of tired of the quote-unquote dark and gritty, like Dark Knight Returns, Nolan movie Batman, like that style of Batman. And I think that style of Batman or Batman story is 100% completely legit. I just don't think of it as the version of Batman that's correct or whatever. And I think that kind of extends to some degree, like, to encompass the Arkham games. And it's not so much that I dislike that version of Batman, that type of version of the character. It's more that what bothers me more is like how that kind of has come to define what's, I don't know, sort of a canon, I guess, or like a lot of people would have you think that the Arkham games or Nolan's movies or even fucking Zack Snyder movies or whatever, like, that any of those versions is like the most accurate or the like correct version of Batman, and that I don't agree with, because I like Burton's version. I love the Adam West version. I haven't honestly read that many Batman comics. I would love to read more. But some of the stuff I have read, I've enjoyed. I love the Brave and the Bold cartoon. So in that sense, I think I wouldn't say that the Arkham games are like perfect or totally nailed it, because I think there's something, to get into specifics, I don't like the character design in those games, and character design is something that I care a lot about. I just don't like the way, like, the only exception really is Arkham Origins, the one not made by Rocksteady. That was the only game in the series where I actually liked the way Batman looked, and a lot of the villains. But also, like, the aesthetics in general, I'm not into. Not say they're ugly or badly made graphically, just not my jam. But you could also say that that's like nitpicking, because as a whole I enjoy the games a lot, and I certainly feel like they for everything that might be like totally valid to do in a different way, I think they're probably as close as we've ever come to a quote-unquote perfect Batman game. So I like that, but... And I mean, again, perfect. I don't even like open world type stuff. I can't fucking get through that part. Yeah, I liked Batman Begins, and I liked the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Rises I thought was terrible. But even at that point, like, I was kind of done with that style of Batman. Batman Begins and The Dark Knight was novel, but that kind of real, quote-unquote, like, imagining Batman in the real world or, you know, etc. doesn't feel fresh or novel at this point. That feels worn out. And yeah, the movies. I wouldn't say Batman is by any means my like favorite character or comic character or anything like that. When I was a young child, I loved Batman, but no, I still like Batman, but I'm not like I don't have really an idea of like what my ideal Batman should be, or like what's a perfect Batman. Like I enjoy seeing different versions. Oh, so now we start over. Like I enjoy Batman, but it's not something I don't connect emotionally. I don't know, not with the characters necessarily, but just like with the stories. The way I do with maybe, I don't know, some other Marvel comics, for example, that I read more when I was a kid. Okay, this is our last 6 lives of this, though, right? We're almost immortal. Like the frame rate's so sudden, like it's like a jump cut. You're like, boom, and you're already launched somewhere. Like, okay, damage. Yeah. Got like different weapons and ammos, or whatever that I don't understand anything about. So another thing, by the way, going back to the whole character design thing. So one of the things I didn't like about the first Arkham game is that everyone's like super buff. Even fucking Gordon is like extremely barrel-chested and just like it looks kind of stupid. And I feel like in the sequels too, like everyone is either weirdly buff or like wearing weird costumes that are like, you know, obviously the Arkham games are less, you know, realistic, so to speak. They're more comic booky than the Nolan movies or something like that. But they still could stand to be a fair amount more like a comic book, I feel. I don't know, I'm thinking of, you know, where dudes wearing actual tights and stuff. Like, no, instead everyone has to be wearing some sort of industrial overalls with this or that. Like, it's the same thing in in the movies and some comics and stuff too. Like people feel like it's, I don't know, it's too fake. It's like, in order to be taken seriously, it has to be translated to a different form that would somehow make more sense if we ran across it in real life or something. And I don't know. I want to embrace the crazy cartoon comic booky stuff. And looking at, again, superhero movies, even though I think, like, for the most Marvel movies, for example, I think they do have good costume design. I feel like they're embarrassed to show their characters like in actual superhero costumes a lot of the time. Or they get versions that are like less like superhero tights and more like some sort of tactical combat armor or whatever. And that sort of same approach, I don't know, I see kind of everywhere, from games to movies to even comics themselves, and I'm just not really into it. Can I get past this section for once? Every little crash too, just like flying all across the street. Shooting even make a difference. I'm like checked out. Gotham I've never watched. I've heard people say it's fine. To me, the premise is like sounds so stupid that I immediately lose all interest. Swerve for one thing, and then you end up in like a impossible to avoid something else. Also, did I just pick up? Trying to make my way back onto the street, but I'm shoved out of the sidewalk, but... yeah. Well, I was gonna say she got away, but nope, I just died. The one thing I was thinking before that I could give this game some props for is that being a driving game, whenever you see the main character like prepare for a big fight or something in a cutscene, you can sort of rest assured knowing that, hey, you know, it's just a car game. I won't have to fight that dude. But there's, you know, being a driving game unfortunately does not preclude us from having impossible boss fights. That weird radar thing on the top right, like, I don't know how you're supposed to read that, or there's just so much fucking shit going on. Right there. I'm totally autopilot here, but I wanted to at least say that I've played through an actual, well, 3 credits, I guess, or 3 continues, given this some sort of proper attempt. Last chance. Up. Okay, that is a 1-up. Yeah, I thought it might be. One more shot after this, I guess. Ah, it's so... gaps are so tight. Away. And I just realized that the radar thing on the top right is also kind of useless because you see like the windows of the building in the background. They just swoosh by that box, and whenever you see like boxes in there to indicate trees or cars or whatever you can crash with, that inevitably blends in with like the window graphics from the buildings passing by. Distracting. Ugh. I might lose this week. I'm trying to land on me just to see it. Okay, bye. I game overed anyway. Oh boy, this game. Ugh. Boy, this fucking game. It's cool. It's technically really impressive, but man. The idea of a like an all Batmobile based game isn't terrible. I mean, it's an idea. I'm not a big car person, so to me personally, it's not like the Batmobile was ever the coolest thing about Batman or anything. But I can see, you know, whoa, okay, there definitely seems to be a turbo boost thing. I wonder how you do that. Not that I think it would have helped me, but. But I can see the appeal. Like it's an idea that has merit. Um, and as it turns out, this is not the only Batmobile-based Batman game. There's a few others. But making it this difficult. And like I said, just like with the Batman Returns game, is that they just, you know, they're what's the expression? Something about outstretching reach and grasp and whatever. They just weren't able to do what they wanted to, or like what they tried to do just wasn't feasible. It would be interesting to play this on either hardware or through emulation or whatever. If you could overclock it and have it run at 60 FPS, just to see how it would play, or even, which is probably more viable, in higher resolution. I know there's like Super Nintendo emulators where you can, if you play in higher resolution, you can like enable Mode 7 zoom stuff. So like when a sprite zooms out, it actually maintains all the detail. Obviously, it's looks kind of fucked, but making use of the higher resolution, like to see more detail. And I wonder if doing that would make it. I'm sure it would look a lot better because you could actually see what it is you're driving up against. But frame rate for sure would make it a little easier. Just control. Like you can tell that the controls are sort of balanced around the fact that the frame rate's kind of shitty. So there's almost no acceleration. Like the acceleration is super fast. And like you can sort of tap the D-pad and just like swerve really far. And you probably need that because if you had controls that the type of controls you would associate more with, you know, driving a heavy car, or at least in modern games, there's the kind of inertia you actually had in the Mega Drive game when you're flying. That feels terrible in low frame rates, like in any driving game where you have that kind of thing. So I can appreciate that they try to make it feel as good as possible, but yeah, I just want to. I would. There's two things I would like to see. One, I would like to see someone who worked on this game play it, just to see virtual arcade. I would like to see someone, like a developer, play this game just to show me. But more than that, I would like to watch someone play the game. Because I feel like if they had done that, they would realize that this game is like infinitely harder than it should be. Alright, so tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a super short toilet break, and when I get back, we're gonna cheat our asses off, and we're gonna see all the stages and hopefully see all the cutscenes. Because that's like the one thing that this game actually has going for it, right? So let's pause the timer, I guess. And I'll be back in just a minute or two. All right, I'm back. Rubik, if you're referring to what I was saying about watching someone, I didn't mean like a Twitch stream or something. I meant like just a playtest. You know, that's something that's commonly done in game development and have been since forever. Like, as you're working on a game, you think something works a certain way. You think you've got stuff tuned right, but you don't know until you test. So you have someone not familiar with the game play it, and you watch them, and you watch how they react to the game, and that's how you learn which parts of your game are too difficult or too weird to figure out, or whatever it might be. So that's the kind of thing I meant more, like just watching the frustration of a developer watching someone struggle, how like impossible this game is. I like this part in the demo, by the way, seeing that there's actually stages with like wider streets with more lanes and stuff. That's kind of cool. Like, this game is so cool. There's so much cool visual shit going on. But anyway, let's cheat our way through here and watch some cutscenes. So let's do this like full run or something. I don't know. I think we can let the timer rock. Alright, we got both power and speed, so this should be good. And it's been, like, before the game gets super impossible... Oops. I want to give it a go here. I pressed like up on the D-pad and something clicked, so I'm so confused. Yeah, the way like the camera sort of moves in the perspective, like the 3D effect is incredibly well done in this game. Like, man, I would love for them to use like this engine on a Saturn game or something. Obviously the Saturn can handle 3D just fine, but... no, okay, I thought for sure. Time over. But like this in higher resolution, higher frame rate, it would be so good. I mean, this game would still be possible. The visuals, it would look amazing. Like, if it could look like this, but in high resolution and 60 FPS, like, that to me would probably be more impressive than like 30 FPS Daytona USA or whatever, like on the Saturn. But there really weren't, like, this is pretty much, I mean, this kind of sprite scaling racer was definitely a dying breed at this point. Dude, I can't even move. And certainly by the time Saturn and PlayStation. Were on the market, they really worked. Sprite scaling racing games car games were really not much of an ongoing concern. Which is too bad because it is such a... When done well, like this game shows, like it would be so cool. Not the civilians. Oops. Okay, we're getting arrested. Or are we? Nope. Okay. Shooting there. Shit. Ah, fucking homing aliens. Oh, dude, I forgot about the mushrooms. Like, the mushroom already limited to where you can drive, and then the fucking alien just swoops in and blocks what little is left of that precious road. Alright, let's see if this shit works.
Make it easy on yourselves, ladies. Where's your pretty boss?
Flattery will get you nowhere, Batman. Except to an early grave. I'm adding a new type of green to my collection. But here's an old favorite I brought just for you.
Okay, so that's Poison Ivy in her truck. But I feel like we've seen enough of this big, so let's do this.
It's over, Ivy.
On the contrary, Batman, your ordeal is just beginning.
Hold it! Hand her over, Bats. We just got word one of your old enemies kidnapped Commissioner Gordon.
What I can tell you is that while our dear Dark Knight was chasing me, two of his closest allies were being abducted. Commissioner Gordon and Batman's own partner, Robin.
Where are they?
That's for you to find out, hopefully before they're executed.
Take the flower girl downtown and grill her. I want some answers.
Don't look so glum, Batman. It's all part of the game.
Ivy said it's all part of the game. That's pretty obvious her hint was about the Riddler.
To the toy store. Okay, so this is what we saw. So I'll give this a bit of a shot. Like, we don't have to skip immediately. Just... Nope. Ah! Don't... Fuck's sake, can no one ever just stick to one lane? I mean, I guess these guys are bad guys, so it makes sense to try to stop them. But their driving manners are indistinguishable from those of regular citizens. Also, what the hell is that? Yeah. Pass or not? Okay. Time limit, but there's no distance remaining. Okay, well. This is all. Sound effects are kind of weird too, by the way. Well, weirdly, this doesn't seem nearly as hard as the previous one. The explosions, by the way, seem a little toned down from Batman Returns. But just remember, when the car blew up here, it was cool, but in Batman Returns, I remember the slowdown being really bad because every time something exploded, there'd be like a big explosion animation, but also like 15 separate chunks of that thing flying around, like making the game to completely fall. Damn, that's 92 damage. What the fuck even is that? Alright. What I'm curious about is those like virtual reality stages that we saw in the demo. Which presumably part of, well, maybe it's the Mad Hatter, I don't know. I was gonna say presumably part of the Riddler. It was a question mark and shit. Will we get this? Will we skip all of that if we use the level check code, or will it only take a few? Maybe it's part of it. Yep, that's pretty much how I drive.
Oh, well played, Dark Knight. But before you rescue your Commissioner Gordon, here's a riddle. How am I like Batman? We're both dummies.
Sick burn.
As you can see, I've added something new. Virtual reality games are the wave of the future, Batman, and they're about to make you history.
Well, that answers that. Oh, it's like right, these things move. Let's drive on the outside of this. Not really, I guess. It's getting worse and worse. Boy, what a joy. Fire. Oh, I mean, this is cool, and I kind of would like to see more of where this goes. Because each of these like areas, they always change a little bit in each what they call stage. But there's no such cheat as to move on from one of those two now. Oh. Nope. Alright.
No! You burned out the program! You cheated!
Are you okay?
Fine, but your partner might not be so lucky. According to Riddler, the Joker's holding Robin at the old Land O'Laughs amusement park. I'll clean up here.
Thanks.
Of course, there's an ominous abandoned old theme park. Why not?
Popcorn! Get your yummy, delicious popcorn! Hiya, Beth. Want a bite?
Take me to the Joker. Now!
Sure, B-Man. Faster than you can say zap, cackle, poop! Whee! Well, don't just sit there, Beth. you want to see Mr. J, you gotta follow me.
Driving, eh? How convenient. Just so happens I'm a fucking expert at driving. Animation sucked up though. Who needs doors?
Why?
Yowza, yowza, ladies and germs. Let's have a big Lando Laughs welcome for your pal and his Batman. I'm delighted to see you've made it this far. But then I knew those other losers couldn't put you out of action. At least, not like I can.
Like, what the
Where's Robin, you lunatic?
He's nearby. All you have to do is get past my bumper cars, and the bird boy is yours. But be careful. One little bump and boom! You're guano.
Seems like a bit of a waste to knock them into each other. But I don't know. It is the Joker. I guess I shouldn't count on it being logical.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Bumper Safari, 3 laps. What the hell? Oh, okay. There's a lot more of them now. So I could totally not tell that that was what those things were. Oh, okay, it's all blades. I thought that was four. Oh boy. I mean, again, the 3D aspect of this is super cool, but now we're reminded of the last stage in Batman Returns, not Forever, with the bat ski boats section with the tunnels and jumps and shit. That was fucking impossible. Cool, but impossible. Okay, that's just tackled by a rhinoceros. Ah, this shit is aggravating like crazy. Dude, this game. Two laps. Perfect. Hope I got quarter of my health back. Let's do this before we run out of lives.
Am I glad to see you?
Same here.
Look out!
Someone's been making me jump through hoops all night. Who's calling the shots?
The guy's
What
been
a stud.
thorn on your side for some time.
Batman just keeps getting owned in these cutscenes. Oh, flying stage maybe? I mean, yeah, the Returns did.
It all figures. Who else has the cash to hire talent like the Riddler and Joker but Rupert Thorne?
Thorne's wanted to take us out of action for years.
There's his gambling ship dead ahead.
It's a gambling ship.
Looks like Rupert doesn't want us coming any closer.
Too bad.
I want that thing shut down now.
We're trying, sir. We must have scared him off.
You? I heard you were looking for me, Thorne.
Actually, Thorne's had no part in this. He's been out of town for weeks.
But if you're not Rupert Thorne, you must be...
Clayface.
It was the perfect scheme, Batman.
With Thorne out of the picture, it was easy for me to take his place. The only thing that kept me from running Gotham into the ground was you.
So you hired the others to take care of us.
I guess if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. Ah!
Bat body montage.
No! No!
Okay. That's a pretty good spray. It's kind of disgusting.
Meow.
Classic Clayface. Alright, they're gonna find their way back to the boat somehow, or... Like, this is still the cutscene after the Joker stage.
So long, bats. Once I'm back in Gotham, I'll just melt into the crowd. We lost him. Not yet.
I didn't want to talk over the cutscene. Thank you very much for that, host, Lord Shadowcaster. What's up? Why have you never seen this? Well, I don't know. I think this is. I mean, it's a Mega CD game, so it's obviously somewhat obscure in the grand scheme of things. But the whole FMV thing is like the one reason why this game is fairly well known, I would say, anyway. For those joining now, we're basically cheating our way through this game because it's fucking impossible. I spent almost an hour trying to beat the second stage and didn't even come close. Okay, we got flight controls here. Why are these all fucking different heights? Makes no sense. Draw distance is also a little, like, these things come up pretty sudden. I think I'm bumping into fucking every single one here. It looks like you can go somewhere, but then you can't. Yep. Time up. So yeah, the time limits are strict. They're so fucking big too. Like. There'll be obstacles that you can barely see because your own ship are obscuring them. It seems like maybe you can use the wings of the ship to like cut down these things without taking damage, but it's hard to tell. Oh man, checkpoint. Mashing the missile button here, hoping for the best. Okay, well, stage 3. Do I have to fly over the bridge? Couldn't I just fly outside here? I'm shocked at how little damage I'm taking, all things considered, but even so, it's like... Oh boy, yeah, this is so fucking weird. Stage 4? Wow, okay. We're somehow doing better here than any other stage. The controls aren't so bad, but there's a lot of other things that contribute to it feeling not great. Holding B and Master C and trying to use these things that okay, well, stage 5. Like my non-strats are somehow working. Like everything pops up so quickly and movement so kind of jerkily, like it's anyway, I think we've seen enough of this level. Let's do what we've been doing the whole time so far. Yeah, the numbered signs, they didn't seem to have any relevance. So we just skipped the level. What the hell happened there? Was he like cured by the fire and then cracked in the cold water, or? I don't know. Oh, okay. That's the game, I guess. Okay. I figured it wouldn't be very long, like that many stages, but that's kind of weird. Like the cutscene, like there wasn't a very good flow to, like there was no resolution really. Like I thought they would, yeah, no, well, I guess that Rupert, what's his face? I guess he wasn't part of this after all. Just Clayface wanted to kill Batman and Robin, so he hired the Joker and Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. The Riddler, I guess. Who made this weird virtual reality thing. Yeah, well, I'm glad we had the cheat. I'm glad we could see the levels, and I'm glad we could see the cutscenes. I don't feel like I have any interest in ever really going back to this. But I feel like I should totally rip the music, because the music was actually pretty good. Well, this is maybe not the best example, but... yeah, generally I like the music. Pretty anticlimactic. This whole thing is pretty anticlimactic. Dude, that's impossible. Well, that was the Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Mega CD, or the Sega CD if you're American. Let's just get rid of this damn thing. Ugh. Let's get some other Batmobile music on here. This is the Batmobile music from the Commodore 64 Batman movie game. Pretty cool game, pretty cool music. And, well, wasn't long ago, but it's time again to take a look at this. So, yep. This is the second Adventures of Batman and Robin by Clockwork Tortoise for Sega. And yeah, I guess we gave up on that one too. Dude, they all make fucking impossible games. Let's see here. I'm not even gonna say we beat it with in-game cheats or anything. We gave up. See cutscenes. In 130. Whoops. Forgot I had hotkeys. Did anyone see the time? 13 or something? I'll update that. I'll go look at my VOD and see. Oh, it's no big deal. I'll fix that later. I'm gonna need to go back to this document to link to the VOD after I upload it anyway. Well, that's another red. Actually, let me retype that so it fits in the box a little better. Cheated to see. I'll turn this down a little bit so I can actually talk over this. Wow. Yes, next up will be The Adventures of Batman and Robin Cartoon Maker. But I'm getting quite hungry. I need to take a break for dinner, and I'm gonna need to do some more setup to make sure, because I think I need to run that through some virtual machine stuff. I did this before I started the whole thing, so I know that I can get it to run, but I remember it being a little bit of a hassle, so it's not something I'm gonna just throw together right now. I have been streaming for 5-something hours anyway, so I want to make sure I can make the Cartoon Maker justice, because I think it's going to be pretty fun. So what we're going to do is I will wrap up this stream here, I think, and I'm going to go make some dinner, and most likely we will do the Cartoon Maker tomorrow, because I'll probably spend tonight making sure I got everything working. Maybe if I feel like it, I'll do another stream tonight, but I probably won't be doing that then. I'll save the Cartoon Maker for tomorrow, more in my regular streaming hours, because that'll be pretty fun. Obviously, it's not a game; we can't really beat it, but we'll go through how it works, and we'll try to make a cartoon. And if we can finish, if we can do that, if we can manage to make a cartoon, I'll consider that, having completed the Cartoon Maker. And after that, we move on to Batman Forever. Dude, I'm so fucking excited for the Batman Forever games. I've been waiting for those. But that's not here or there. Maybe we'll get started on Batman Forever tomorrow, because I think the Cartoon Maker thing is it's gonna be a lot of fun, but I don't think it's gonna be a like 6-hour thing or anything. It's gonna be I don't know, not too long. But anyway, we didn't beat any games. I got fucking trashed by driving and flying and shooting and all kinds of shit. I took a real beating today, but I did it so that we can move forward and progress as a society and the human race. So we will continue with The Adventures of Batman and Robin Cartoon Maker, hopefully tomorrow. If for some reason it doesn't happen tomorrow, I'll make sure to tweet about it so I can keep you guys up to date. Maybe I'll return to stream something else tonight, but most likely not. We'll see. And now I'm really gonna go make some dinner because I'm getting real hungry. Thank to you as well, Binary Spirit, Hoffman, Trippy, everyone else chatting and watching. It's been a pleasure. Stick around and I'll see if I can send you guys somewhere. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you around.